Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan Rose here, your Ethical Vegas Realtor, and today we are cracking open the Las Vegas HotSheet. And let me tell you this thing is stacked once again this week. So we've got 4,491 listings in here, and I know it's pretty wild. It actually went down since recently, but here's the fun part. And when you really look at the numbers, they start telling a little bit of a story. And that's what I'm walking you through today. No fluff, no sugarcoating, no BS, just what's really happening out there so that you can make the best decision, best informed decision that you can. So, all right, let's get right into it. Um, Picture this. You're scrolling homes and you wonder, because everyone does on Zillow, you're scrolling homes and you wonder, what's the vibe right now? Here's the quick read for you. The average price in the hot sheet sits around 616,000. The median's 450. Anytime the average is way higher than median, that usually means a few ultra pricey homes are pulling the number up, just like normal. Well, but the days on market, right around 50 days, that's the average. It's not slow, it's not fast, just the steady middle lane where good pricing still matters and pricing actually does get punished at the same time. And yeah, the average home in here is rocking a little over a 3 bedrooms and almost 3 baths, 2.5 baths, like normal, pretty standard in Vegas, right? Um, Now, here's where things get just a little bit more interesting, at least it's interesting for me. The biggest chunk of activity in this hot sheet is price drops. 898 of them, which isn't the most that we've ever seen, right? There was times where we saw 1100 a few months ago. So the price drops have reduced, pun, uh, about 300 since June, July. So the price drops are coming down a little lower. Okay, so that means most likely, you know, home sellers are getting a little bit more realistic on starting out with the pricing of their property, and that's about one of every 5 listings that has that price drop. And if you ever walk into a store and see a whole wall of sale tags, then that's kind of what it feels like a little bit. Again, not as much as June and July, but it's still, there's a lot of discounts out there. There's a lot of discounts out there. New listings are strong too. I mean, we have 737 of them, and we've got 580 that actually closed. So they're still buyers. So anyone who thinks that no one's buying, well, I'm sorry, but they are. So what does that tell us? Well, sellers are adjusting, buyers are still active, and the market is doing that little tug of war thing where both sides are trying to feel out where prices should land and should not land, right? Um, let's go to the next slide here. So let's zoom out for a second. Let's zoom out a little bit. What kind of homes are we even talking about here that's on this past week? Not the last month or anything. This is the past week only. This sheet is basically a single family buffet, I guess you could say. Over 3,300 of these properties are single family homes. Then you've got townhomes and condos filling in the gaps. So when it comes to a layout, Vegas is almost split down the middle, about 2,000 two-story homes and just under that for one story. The one thing I will tell you that I noticed is everyone likes open concept, everyone enjoys that, right? However, the older community right now, so the 55 plus, they still enjoy, at least from what I've noticed in my personal experience, they still enjoy a little bit of a segmented house. So they still like a dedicated dining room. They still like a dedicated family room. And a lot of homes that are being built right now are the open concept where you have a dining room and the living room in the same general area. Sometimes there's a specific spot where you would put a dining room, but no one puts it there, and they just have a bigger family room because everyone eats at the couch now. So it's very interesting. Thought I'd throw that out there. So a lot of 55 plus communities will still have the segmented area, but what I also noticed is when flippers go in and they say, no, we need to open this up into an open concept because that's what everyone likes right now. The problem with that is that there's still a contingent of buyers, especially in the 55 plus communities, like some of these flippers are going into, that still like the segment. So and they are actually staying on the market a little bit longer, and they're beautiful homes. They're beautifully redone. Some are great, some are, fix and flips. I mean, it is what it is. But you need to know your market. You need to know the demographic that is going to be buying that home. And if it's in a 55 plus community, chances are they prefer a more segmented area. If you are one of those 55 plus community members or want to be in the 55 plus because you are of that age and you're allowed to, put in the comments, let me know what you think. Do you prefer the segmented or do you prefer the open concept? I'm actually interested because every single person that I've talked to, every single one that is 55 plus and is looking into the Sun City, Summerlin, Sun City Anthem, all the Sun City areas, they prefer a more segmented, not completely, but a more segmented home, which I find interesting. It makes sense because that's what they're used to. But I just put in the comments, let me know. I'm actually very curious about what you think about that.
And real quick, if you have any opportunities to buy or sell a property right now, I want to earn your business. I don't feel entitled to it. So give me an opportunity. My information is below in the description. Any way you want to contact me, you can. I got my email. I also have my phone number, which you can text or call. And you have all my social media channels, my Instagram and TikTok, and obviously YouTube here. It's all at Rose Homes LV.
So if you're selling a single home, you've got competition. And if you're buying one, you've got options, which is great. Everyone loves options. All right, let's talk locations now. Some zip codes are definitely louder than others in the hot sheet for this past week. We've been over that before. Number one is 89011, and that's in Henderson with 223 listings. Then you've got 89052, 89084, 89113, and a few others not far behind. Think of it like this: the more listings in your zip code, the more choices a buyer has. So that means if you're a seller in one of these hot zip codes, you've you've got to stand out. And there's a couple of ways to do that. You can have a much lower price, which not everyone can stomach and not everyone can enjoy, but guess what? Sometimes that's how you stand out. Or the home is just over the top amazing, high-end finishes everywhere, but it's still priced correctly, not overpriced just because you have a nicer house. And that's just today's market. Now, 3 years ago, you could have a very standard, maybe even sometimes a substandard house go on the market and it still sells for 50,000 over because there was no homes on the market. Well, it's not the case right now. So let's just keep this in mind if you're thinking about selling your property. And if you want a real evaluation where I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt or anything, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to give you the numbers. I'm going to give you the comps. I'm going to give you information on where I believe the economy and the market is going and my recommendation based off of your motivation, based off of your um, interest, thoughts, and give you a comprehensive plan for you. Give me a call or text or email. It's all in the description. I will give you all of that. I do that for free because I want people to understand where they are and where they can go. And my only hope is that you use me after. So I am probably going to keep asking for a few months after if you want me to help you. So keep that in mind. But also put in the comments what zip code you're in, and I'll do a whole report, maybe not a report, a whole video just on that zip code. And if there's certain neighborhoods, certain areas you want me to kind of hone in on, let me know. For instance, 89178, you can there's it's like a big L. It's kind of weird. So it has parts of the northern side of Rhodes Ranch on Fort Apache and call it Blue Diamond. It's not all the way. I mean, 89178 does go all the way to Blue Diamond, but so basically Fort Apache and west is 89178 for most of it, and then it goes down like a rectangle, and then when you get to Blue Diamond, it goes across Blue Diamond, but then it goes down um, east, and it's just a big L. Look at the zip code map. It's actually pretty interesting. I don't know who decided to district that one, but maybe they weren't of sound mind. Anyway, so if you are a buyer, this is where you can actually compare options instead of jumping on the first thing you see, which is always helpful and it takes a little bit of the stress out that I've noticed. Let's break down the price ranges for right now because this part always surprises people. Most homes in the middle of the pack fall between 350, 355, and 600,000 for this past week anyways. That is the sweet spot, the what numbers you're going with. I'm going full market.
So that's including Pahrump, that's including Boulder City. Other people, they get their numbers and they don't include that. I'm just including everything just to not hurt anybody's feelings. I might change that sooner or later because I really don't do much business in Boulder City or Pahrump. So I'll probably just stick to Vegas after maybe in the new year. Um, so so the median is right in the heart of the market right now. Then we've got the outliers on the low end. There's a listing under $2,000, which again, that is probably a land listing in Pahrump. On the high end, you have a $19.5 million mansion. I don't know what's inside that one. Probably a sleep mode for humans or something. I don't know. It's probably something fancy. And here's the point of all this. These massive outliers are why the average price looks higher than the median price. Real life happens in that middle range, and that's most of my buyers and sellers anyways. It's around the 400 to 750,000 range right now. Here is the thing. With 20% of listings dropping their prices, sellers are clearly trying to stay in the game, and with average days on market sitting around 50, there's room for strategy on both sides. If you're buying, patience and good timing helps. If you're selling, pricing smart and presenting well is everything at this point. This is one of those markets where the house that's dialed in gets attention, and the one that's just okay and it's not priced like it's just okay sits. If you want the numbers broken down for your exact neighborhood or even your street, shoot me a DM. I'll help you make sense of it. And all right, quick recap before we wrap up here. We've got a ton of inventory, a lot of price drops, days on market sitting in that middle zone, and most homes are landing in that $350,000 to $600,000 range. If this helped you at all, hit the like button, subscribe so you don't miss the next update, and do me a favor, share this with a friend who's thinking about buying or selling in Vegas, that this might be able to help them. I hope it does. That is really the only reason why I do this. I'm just trying to help as many people as I can. So if it honestly helps more for you, then it helps immensely for me, and it's more than you even know. All my info is in the description. Text me, DM me, whatever's easiest, email, phone call, and check out the guides that I've linked down there too. They'll save you some time and some headaches. Hopefully it helps. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of the week.